put our combats together, we try to use historical manuscripts for inspiration wherever possible. And recently, we've been looking at this, the Flower of Battle, written sometime around 1410 by a man called Fiore de Libre, an Italian fight master. If you are wondering, this is not the original, it's from Amazon. It's just as good. Now the great thing about Fiore's manuscript, and I'll get Richard to show you it, the great thing about Fiore's manuscript is the detail it goes into. Instead of just giving you a cryptic sentence and a single image, it gives you long, detailed paragraphs explaining how these techniques are supposed to work. He starts off with the basics, he starts off with wrestling, he then moves on to dagger fighting, then sword fighting, first in one hand, then in two. He moves on to armoured combat with a poleaxe, a great big hammer. Perhaps Henry VIII's armour over there, he's holding a poleaxe. He even teaches you how to fight on the back of a horse. Very detailed, and it's great for people like myself and Richard. Now the key to Fiore's martial art, in fact the key to any effective martial art, is being able to end a fight as quickly and efficiently as possible while putting yourself in little danger as possible. So my question for you today, is there anyone here who would like to see our interpretation of a real medieval sword fight? Yeah. Fantastic. I suggest we would sort of. Oh, that's right. Otherwise it's going to be a very short show, isn't it? A lot of mess. A lot of mess. So you can get nasty splinters with it. Either. Proper fight. Alright, all good. Thanks very much. Thank you. Is it safe to say, if we came out and did a whole bunch of talking and we did a one-move fight, would you be disappointed? Of course you would. I would be. I'd be gutted. And here's the thing. Real fights can be over incredibly quickly. One move, two moves, maybe three, at the end of which one of you is likely to be lying on the floor, seriously hurt or dying. But when someone holds onto a weapon, even if it's a wooden one like this, what we expect to see is something bigger and longer. The kind of fighting you see on television, in films, maybe on the stage. That's called stage combat. Now, in a moment's time, we're going to do a bit of historical stage combat for you. But for now, let's stick with the historical stuff. What we showed you has come straight out of the manuscript, right? And lifted right out of those pages. It's called the peasant strike. It makes two assumptions. First assumption is that I am the fight master. I have studied fighting at great expense to myself. I have studied under a number of Italian and German fight masters. Whereas Richard here is an uneducated peasant. Do use your imagination. He probably hasn't been trained in combat, certainly not with a sword. This might even be the first time he's held on to a sword, you never know. Yeah, still right. And for whatever reason, we found ourselves in one-on-one combat. Perhaps it's a duel, perhaps he's jumped me down the street, perhaps it's the edge of a battlefield. Either way, how can a fight like this unfold? Well, I'm going to begin with having my sword down in the lower line, pointing off to the side. Fiore calls this the iron gate. Now, what are you going to do?
I'm going to break out my specialty move, which is known as Richard Smash. Basically, bring the sword straight down onto his noggin into the two and over the fight. Yay!
Yeah. No head, no victory for me. There you go. So, what can I do? Well, the thing is, I'm drawing Richard into that attack. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Because if he does try to strike me in the head, I step off to the side and I bring my blade up. This is called a sloping parry. As Richard's blade hits mine, it fires away to the ground. And before he has a chance to react, I simply step around and I cut him around the back of the neck, the head, and he can come straight down if I prefer. Well, that's what it's available.
Yeah, our special effect was it's not great to see it.
So, there's Richard. Happy man. There you go.
However, I'm not quite as stupid as I look from it. And Fiore always gives a counter in his book just in case somebody uses that move on you. So, if you'll indulge me, there is a way I can get out of that. Ha! So, bringing that down once again, starting exactly the same with the peasant strike, bringing it straight down on his noggin.
I go for the left.
I see Mike doing this and do a similar thing of also stepping off to the side and then using his own momentum against it. Place the sword in the way of his hand and cut into his hand. Now, it's not going to cut it off, but it's definitely going to hurt, and he's either going to drop the sword or yield to me, and I will win once again. Yay!
Very good. And sometimes that's all you get. One move and then a counter. However, in this particular case, there is a third move. The counter. Or sometimes called the remedy, depending on where you are in the manuscript. Basically, it puts me back on top. Let's do that again, shall we?
I don't know where this is going.
Yeah. That's it. So, the first thing that we have to remember is that I don't know that Richard knows what I'm doing. Alright? So my first instinct is still to strike him in the back of the neck. I'm still hoping to complete the first strike. As Richard already showed you, he begins his counter. Now, seeing it's at the corner of the eye, I've got the split second decision to make. Do I keep going, or do I cover the sword? Keep the flash of the blade, cover the sword, and as Fiore puts it, from here, you can do nothing to me.
Except surrender.
Or die.
Surrender, please. Thank you.
That's that. That's as far as Fiore goes. Now, in reality, these techniques might not look so neat. It's going to get messy because, people don't want to die, they're going to have to start wrestling, or perhaps because there's lots of blood flying everywhere, who knows. But that's the intention behind the techniques. Now, what we're going to do is use the peasant strike as inspiration for a longer sequence. We're going to use that to put a stage combat version together. What I suggest, Richard, is that instead of just ending with the same stuff we've already shown them, we can try and end with something new.
Right.
Yeah? Yeah. No, only using Fiore.
Yeah.
So no towel off or nothing like that. Just Fiore.
Right, yes, you will again. Thank you.
There you go.
Although you didn't cheat there, mate. First showing you how to use the sword, you use your foot.
It still counts.
No, kicking does not count.
It's from the book.
I don't care.
To be fair, if I'm being honest, I did do it wrong.
Oh, there's
So would you mind if I had a go? Is it right? We won't have to do the whole thing. It's very quick. It's a hard technique to do, but I reckon I'll manage. So just come straight down from the head. I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. Okay? Yeah, down. Very confident. Yeah. Are you all right?
All right, mate, you're proving your point.
Right. Page 24 on there.
Yes, thank you, yes. Okay.
Yeah. It's all good. The thing is, the sword isn't always dangerous bits. The person behind it that you've got to worry about.
Yeah, now I'm very worried.
Yeah, there we go. Walking with a bit with it.
No, I'll be fine. Shake off.
Okay. Shall we do a bit more wrestling?
No.
No more kick.
Yeah. So long as there's no more kicking, don't encourage it.
Yeah. Tell you what, I won't kick you there, but I might use my foot. We'll see how we go.
I'll allow it for now.
Shall we just go straight into some fancy stuff and see if we can employ some grappling?
Right.
Yeah? I'm going to take the cards first.
Yep, 8 for easy.
Thank you. Long point.
Where is the point then? Right,
It is
go for the
a point.
positive.
Oh, that's very nice. We're going to go first.
Ha!
So, Richard's a lot stronger than I am. Can you get out of that, Richard?
Yeah.
Alright. Anyway, so from this position, I can break Richard's arms. I can use the pommel, the counterweight of the sword, to knock out a few teeth. Alright, I can use the pointy bit to skewer him in. We can kiss and make up.
Now, very good of you to demonstrate that, Mike.
Thank
Of
you.
course, I let him do that so that he could demonstrate it very well, because as with the sword, Fiore always gives a counter even with the grapple. So once again, there is a way I can get out of that. Yeah. Whether I can do it or not is yet to be seen.
Not good, eh?
I know you don't. Once again, using his own momentum against him, I can throw it to the floor, sticking with the point
you use the metal ones, yeah?
Right. Ground rules.
No guns.
No guns, fine. Quick guys, and you keep going until it's a clear and inside swim.
So, death. Then.
No death. Number one, no dying.
Bleeding.
No bleeding.
First blood.
No kicking, biting, scratching, and no kicking.
Then kicking twice. So,
That's double no kicking.
alright, so basically until there's a yield, then, yeah?
Until there's a yield.
Otherwise, everything's good.
Everything's good.
That's throw.
No, you can't. I know that's in the book as well, but you're not doing that.
Suppose it might hit a little person over there. Now you pick the guard first. I picked that side.
Bring out my feminine side, and go for the ladies' guard.
Very nice. Very nice. Now,
In your own side,
I'm thinking.
that's a first.
It's actually quite painful. There you go. I've chosen the window. There's a window. There. Who's going to go first? Lisa's going to use it, doesn't she? I'm good.
Tell you what, second time looking at you, you can look at something else instead. What are you looking at? This is a legitimate stance of that, you know.
Very distracting.
Yes.
Well, use the woman's guard before the ladies' guard. I use the window. What's that one called?
A very technical name. It's called the unknown stance, I don't know what it's called. I like to call it the fancy stance.
I think it's silly. Too hard.
Help! Oh!
Good copying, mate.
Yeah. So good. I'll teach you how to do this. Whack! You can have one. Whack! You can't really find that sort of kind of stuff. What are you doing?
Okay.
What do you want in your hands?
Nothing.
Show me your hands. Your other hands. Both hands. I'm going to regret asking this. What have you got between your legs?
Nothing much.
Where that one for?
Right, alright. The way I see it, that you've got my sword, so I don't have one.
Yes.
You've got two. Well, you have a dagger, so draw your dagger out.
No. In the book, if I'm not mistaken, there is sword and dagger fighting.
Yeah, but I don't like that.
Ah, no, you get it now.
Good choice. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
I want to bring back something you cheated.
No, that's all right, isn't it?
No, you can't wait. You're supposed to do that. It's not allowed.
So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A light-hearted look at what was actually a very serious martial art. Now, we're going to stick around for a short while. If you have any questions, if you want to have a look at the manual, or of course, if you want to hold on to the swords. Now, all I'll ask, if you're going to hold on to a weapon, please hold it with both hands by the handle. Please don't hold the edge. Though it breaks as much as we can to make it safe, it does have a number of dents and nicks in them, which act a bit like a serrated knife. So please keep it pointed up towards the ceiling. Please do not point it towards anyone around you, and as tempting as it is, don't swing it around. We've used successfully kill each other. That's paperwork for Richard. Otherwise, myself, Mike, and Richard did all the hard work. Thank you very much. Cheers.